sounds like the lines may have made it onto Bottle's hook. Not the down. Are you able to get tracks there? Let's see if I can actually straighten up a little bit. I'll be able to see them. You can see a nice one there. Yeah, that one is almost in the centre of the screen. Just down a little bit. A little bit further left. Maybe we can zoom out just a little bit. There we go. I thought I was better than the one you want, but maybe the one you want was better. Sorry, we can go right again. Yeah, I think maybe that one is better than the one that you want. A little bit further up. Yeah, that one there. So, that's the track there. So, I'm gonna do done it this morning. Going ahead of myself now. You might be able to make out the shape. I think that one was better. You might be able to even see the trail. Now this particular animal doesn't walk with one foot behind the other. It walks both feet almost side by side, so it makes a two-track trail. Because hippos can hold their breath for about 5 or 6 minutes. It's not very long. There we go. But obviously the two that were having the dispute, one of them won, because it looks like there's only one here. Other than that, not much movement. So we have been looking at the weather so far. If it doesn't mind holding off just for a little longer, that'd be very cool. And even the hippo is deciding it's not a great day for him today. Staying well below the water's edge. Kathy, Joy, Deborah, Kim, lots of different names, Gloria, Jason, Larry, brilliant, well done guys. Coming back with the correct answer with Hippo. And Raisa also, well done. Sean, everybody knowing that track, well done everybody. So Hippo having 4 toes, you can see nicely in the track, rather than the characteristic hoof, the 2 for most of the antelope. So originally, hippos were classified in with pigs and the antelope and the deer, but I never understood that classification, I must admit, because the hippo track, as you see, very different to that of the antelope and the pigs. And now they have agreed that based on genetics, the hippo is closely related to the whale, so they are in the order Whippomorpha, which I think is probably one of the best order names ever. Whippomorpha. Okay, let's head up to quarantine. Maybe if we do head down Filliman's Cut Line, we might have a look with those elephants again. Maybe we can do a little bit of Rebecca's Road, but we'll see what's happening with this weather. So I don't want to be too far away from the little house on the prairie. Might have been able to make out the black and white underneath the wing. And with a very, very short tail. Very characteristic of that particular bird in flight. Actually, where the name, or what the name actually means, because it's French, and it's, I think if you read the books, it's supposed to mean like tightrope walker or a trapeze artist, something to do along that sort of line. Of magician as well, I think I've heard. But then there's been some French people that said that's not the meaning of Bateleur at all. So where the name actually did come from, because it was supposed to have been at the tightrope walker because of the way that it balances itself in flight. No, I'm not going there just yet. Hopefully, it won't at all. Interesting, this pale yellow and the dark colour on the inside. And what's amazing is if you see these flowers under UV light, they look very, very different. And quite often there's lines, and the veins actually of the flower show up under UV. And that's what the insects see. And it's almost like a landing strip for them. They're guiding the insect into the centre of the flower where they can gather the pollen. And obviously as they move from flower to flower, they drop the pollen off. And that's how the pollen gets dispersed amongst the flowers. They all seem to be centred around sort of the circus acts and things. But as I say, then I have spoken to some other French people saying no, that's not the translation at all. But I can't remember what they said it was. Even the Impala herd taking shelter in the thicker bushes at this stage. You can still see those white tails flicking every so often just to make sure that everyone knows it's okay. And as I say, they are mixed feeders, so that's why you'll find them in the bush or out on the plains. They eat leaves as well as grass, depending on the time of year and what's available. And if you've ever noticed, for me, Impala always look in really good condition. And they do groom each other. So it's known as allo grooming. They get as much of the ticks and the parasites off each other as possible, and it strengthens the bonds within the herd. But they have a slight adaptation to help them with that, and that's the teeth. And the teeth are slightly loose in the bottom of the jaw, so they can move very slightly, about a mil or two, and that acts like a comb, and they can comb out more ticks and parasites and dead fur, and that's why they always seem to look in really good condition. And even males will groom males and females in the herd with the other females, youngsters. It just keeps the herd in good condition. You can see again the wind just swirling around, and they're just trying to get as much information on what lies ahead as possible. I've actually seen rhinos get very jumpy when it gets windy like this. Before you actually start to hear that roar a lot on the camera, and they usually follow it up with a few snorts as well, short bursts. Well, that's put us in our place anyway. And he didn't feel he had to give it his all. Let's just go down and just have a look while the herd will start to come out. Now unfortunately Impala pretty much are eaten by everything, hence such large herds. And when they are younger, they're susceptible to eagles, black eagles or rose eagles as they're now called, to take baby Impala. Jackal are capable of taking down fully grown female Impala, even by themselves on occasion, but often work as a family. Quick snack for lions, one of the main food sources for the leopards. So even pythons, we've actually, on my old reserve we had a large rock python that ate a fully grown female Impala. Hi, Denise from Pennsylvania. Oh, there's a swallow that just flew in. I don't know if it flew into shot or not. But Denise wanted to know if there's any monkeys or baboons in the area. And there are. We have seen the monkeys on occasion, but they're very difficult to detect in the trees unless you see them or hear them calling. But if you see them, sometimes you see them in the ground. But they definitely are masters at hiding away in the tops of the trees where you can't see the other females turn. See the females at the back browsing on the trees and the females at the front grazing. I'm sure it's fine if you geared up for it. But everyone always laughs at me because, obviously being from the UK, we should be used to the cold. But like I keep saying to everyone, I think because the cold is just a constant cold, so there's not much in the way of fluctuation, whereas in South Africa, it does fluctuate a lot. You have the extremes, and I think being from the UK, my body doesn't really cope with the extremes. Sure. I thought I was pushing it a little bit, but I thought, it's worth trying, just in case those animals were there, but, well, you can't control the weather, unfortunately. But I'm hoping it's not going to get too heavy. But a nice try this afternoon as well, but hey, at least we managed to see those two hyena cubs. That was cheap. There is something very special about watching the animals, and even the Impala. I do love watching them, especially when they do get on a beautiful sunny morning and they do that figure of 8 and they just chase each other, wildebeest as well. And play is just so important to baby animals because, as I said before, they have to build up their muscles, build up the strength, build up the skills, and even when a cub or carnivores actually start playing, they're pouncing on each other, they're learning the skills of how to hunt and biting and everything. Also, as I said before about the hyenas biting new vegetation, it's strengthening those jaws, the muscles around the jaw, which is going to be very important for them as they get older. But I'm hoping we will not have too much of a wait.